Does this sound familiar to you? That when you got your maths answer sheet back and you got fraction question wrong and you were feeling so frustrated and you were thinking that these were the logical steps which I learned in the class, but somehow red ink said something otherwise. Fractions are building blocks of mathematics, but even though it tricks even the sharpest students. You know why? Because there are sneaky traps into it. We are going to figure out them, those sneaky traps. We are going to learn how to avoid them, why they happen, and we are going to have a foolproof method to come out of those sneaky traps and pull them off safely. So today we are going to remove those errors where you felt that you were absolutely right when you were applying that rule, but you might have applied that rule somewhere wrong where you should not have applied. So today's topic is avoid fraction mistakes. You know why the students are getting problem in fractions? Because fractions are trying to say something else, but students misunderstand that what they are trying to communicate. Fractions are not the numbers which are stacked upon one other. They are having a relationship in between them. It's a problem which are telling us about the reality. Okay, so let's break out what fraction is going to tell us. Fraction is essentially a problem which is about to get divided, but we don't divide it. The above number which we have is a numerator. The number which I have marked with the block which I have marked with the blue color is a numerator. The block which I have marked with orange color is a denominator, and there is a line which is dividing both of them. Now this is where the mechanics of maths meet the physical reality. You have heard about 1 by 2 half, you have heard about 1 by third, you have heard about 1 by fourth. But when we start taking any number in the numerator and any number in the denominator, then you have got a paradox of numbers, and there you get confused. And the problem is your mind can't see that fraction. Your mind can't picture out that fraction. That's your biggest problem. So let's dive into it and learn more about fractions. Where we are using fractions and why do we learn them? You might, while traveling, you might have seen on the boards the navigation sign is there that 7.5 kilometers is there. Sale is 1 by 4 off all prices. And while baking, your mother is using 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2.5 teaspoon of baking powder. So we have used fractions in our daily life, but though we are confused when we hit a mental roadblock when we see that in the question paper. Fractions have 3 costumes: proper fraction, improper fraction, mixed number. Now what is proper fraction? I will explain to you. You can see a circle. How many parts I have of the circle? If I write it down, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts. Out of 7, if I ask you what is the fraction of, try to understand what I'm asking. I'm asking fraction of unshaded region. So you will keep the number of unshaded region in the numerator, okay, and how many pieces this figure was divided into in the denominator. So there were 7 pieces. So what we did, this is part of a whole. We have a whole circle. We had a one complete circle. First we divided that into 7 parts. We made 7 parts out of it, and that we are going to write in the denominator. Number of pieces it was divided into. Now my numerator will tell what fraction I am asking. I am asking fraction of unshaded region. So I will mark a number of pieces which are unshaded in the numerator. Okay, I will tell this is the part of whole which is unshaded. And if I ask you what is the fraction of, now see my question is changing, fraction of shaded region. So what you will be writing? You will be writing 6 upon 7. See, the denominator is telling us the number of pieces it was divided into, and the numerator is telling me what fraction he is asking. He is asking about the shaded parts. So these are the parts of all 7 pieces which were shaded. So that's why improper fraction always have a smaller numerator as compared to denominator. We are going to have a number which is in the numerator is always less than the denominator. Now this brings us to one more thing, that if I ask you 1 by 2 or 1 by 3 or 1 by 4, in which one of these cases you will get more share? Now you see, you had a whole chocolate bar. Okay, now you will be able to relate this, because we all are looking for a more share out of the thing which we are dividing. Okay, now this is the chocolate bar. If I divide this into 2 parts, okay, and you are getting 1 part out of it, then it is 1 by 2. If I am dividing this chocolate bar into 3 pieces, the same chocolate bar was divided into 3 pieces, and you are getting this 1 share. See, the size or the amount of chocolate decreases when I divide it into 3 parts. And if I am dividing the same chocolate bar into 4, if I am dividing the same chocolate bar into 4, then what will happen? You are going to get this share. You are getting even the lesser quantity. So these type of fractions are known as unit fractions, and in such fractions we don't make them greater or smaller by looking at the denominator. Okay, we just understand this thing that out of 4 I am getting 1, out of 3 I am getting 1, out of 2 I am getting 1. So my share is getting decreased if the number of pieces the thing was divided it into is increasing. 2 is less, so I will get more share. 3 is little more, so I will get little less. 4 is again little more, so will I get, as compared to the previous time, I will get even lesser this time. So these type of numbers are known as proper fractions, where numerator is smaller than the denominator. Now I am coming to the word to the fraction improper fraction. Now improper, if you understand in English, means something which is not right. Okay, now why do we call improper here? Because in these fractions we are only studying fractions, okay, but they have smuggled a whole number into them. Now how? Let's find out. There is 15 by 4. 15 is greater than 4. Numerator is greater than 4. So I told you it's a division problem which is waiting to be solved. So let's divide. 15 will be my inside number dividend and 4 will be divisor. 4 into 3 times is 12. Now we are left with 3. Okay, this is my remainder, this is my whole number, and this is my divisor. So how I am going to write this? I am going to write it like this. Denominator will remain denominator. This quotient which I've got is my whole number, and the remainder which I've got is my new numerator. Now try to understand that here in mixed numbers, in improper fraction, they have smuggled the whole number, and when we divided them, we have got the whole number out of it. We got a superpower to understand that this fraction is little more than 3, because 3 is a whole number and there is some small number, it's a fragment. 3 by 4 is a fraction. Fractions are small fragments, so a small fragment is getting added into it. Okay, so this is 3 by 4 is telling us that whole number and the fraction both are getting stick to each other. Okay, so this type of numbers form mixed numbers. Now come to how these anatomy will give us a mixed number. Whenever numerator is greater than denominator, there is a whole number present inside it, and when you will take it out, you will get, see, I have written 1.5. That means 1 is full part and a small fragment more is added to it. So it has two parts, whole number, and if I will do this, it is the number somewhere lying between 1 and 2. It is giving me an estimation. Mixed number is giving me an estimation. If you understand, half is 0.5, so this is 0.5. So this number is lying in between 1 and 2. Okay, so this gives us the mixed numbers, gives us the estimation that first there is a whole number and there's a small more part added to it. So if you have to mark it on a number line, I will mark it there as 1.5. So it has a whole number will be the complete part and the fractional part will be the decimal 0.5. Now I will tell you what is the decimal part. See, if I divide these numbers, I will get 0.1428 and these ellipses. See the magic of mathematics. We capture the sign of we captured the infinity into a piece of paper. These numbers are going on, they are going to repeat after, if we will keep on dividing, these numbers are going to come forever. Okay, they are not going to stop. If I will do 2 by 3, then 6 is going to be repeated infinite number of times. If I am doing 21 by 37, then these number 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7 are going to get repeated. But maths have captured these numbers in a piece of paper by marking a dot over these numbers. A single dot above a number indicates the specific digit repeats infinitely. Dots above the start and end of a sequence means the entire sequence is repeating. Here it is a number, here it is that 5 will come, 6 will come, and then 7 will be coming. So this is the sequence which is going to get repeated again and again. So here we have written ellipses, and then we converted these ellipses by writing a dot over that number which is going till infinity. The same number will come if you will keep on dividing. Now I am coming to multiplication. This is the easiest out of the bunch of the operations which we are going to do in fractions. Okay, earlier you have a very common see fractions. Why the students feel problematic with, face problem with, because they had been doing questions on whole numbers and they have a common natural instinct of multiplying and adding them straightway. Okay, now but in fractions there is a change. You need to understand there are two numbers but they are related to each others. Okay, they are stacked upon each other but they are communicating a different language to each other. You need to understand when you will learn more about fractions in this lecture. As you will attend this lecture with me, you will start getting the logic will start clicking into place, that why we are seeing fractions like this, what they are trying to communicate. Okay, so now I am coming to multiplication. Earlier you were doing like, if I multiply 2 into 7, you were multiplying them directly, 14 will be coming. Okay, and it shows growth from 2 and 7 you went to 14, but in fractions they communicate something else. Let's find out. Here in the numerator, I told you my numerators are of orange color or of blue color and denominators are of orange color. Now you see that 2 into 7 is 14. These top is getting multiplied with top and giving me an answer of the top. Bottom times bottom is giving me the bottom answer. It's like they are residing on different floors. These are staying in the basement, or you can say in the lower ground floor, and these are living in the upper ground floor. These are the members of upper ground floor, so they will go to their own house, and these are the members of lower ground floor, so they will go to their own house. They won't exchange their houses. Okay, 2 will meet 7, will get multiplied straight cross and will give me 14. 5, bottom number will multiply with bottom number and will give me the answer of the denominator. So you will always get the number like this. Now I told you the multiplication says something else. Now in multiplication, suppose there were 4 parts of this block and I have shaded 2 out of them and left 2. Okay, so that means I have shaded half of it out of 4. If I have shaded 2 and 2 I have left unshaded, so that means I have kept 1 by 2 for this shaded region. Unshaded region is 1, and if I have said this is the only division, let's don't take this division. So if this is the division, there are 2 parts and I have 1 part out of it which is shaded. Now there are 3 parts, out of this I have shaded 1 part. Now when I multiply, okay, try to understand this is the common area. So the areas, did you see the reduce? So this is telling me that unlike addition, multiplying fractions requires scaling the dimension of the whole. You multiply straight across, but you are calculating the intersecting area of the grid, and this shows reduction in numbers, which is very different from whole number, which is in contrast to whole numbers, because there the numbers were growing, here the numbers are reducing. Fraction is getting reduced. Earlier we had this fraction and this fraction, and when we multiplied we got a smaller part and the fraction is 1 by 6. Now you tell me, out of 6 pieces, if you are getting 1, your share will be less. If you are out of 3 you are getting 1, then your share will be less, or if it is 2. So 6 if I divide this into 6 and you're getting 1 out of it, then you get the least amount of it. So that's how in multiplication we will multiply straight across, top to top, bottom to bottom, but here we are going towards reduction. Now we can't leave these answer as it is. The students make these mistakes, they leave the answer as it is. We need to simplify them into their simplest form. This is what I'm going to tell you in the next ahead of the lecture. See how the multiplication reduces the quantity. Earlier there were 2 by 3 cup of cashews. If I multiply with 1 by 2, 1 by 3 cup cashews is there. So the amount is coming to reduction. See, it is getting reduced. Whenever you 2 was there, you have multiplied with half. Now you get 1. When half was there, now earlier you were getting half, now you are getting 1/4. So in multiplication you need to understand that unlike whole numbers, they are not showing growth, they are showing reduction. Notice that multiplication of a fraction by a fraction results in a smaller quantity. The intersection area shrinks. Master technique. Now we can do the multiplication. Now we have to simplify our mathematics in such a way. When we multiply, we have two methods of multiplying fractions. I can multiply straight across 5 into 8, then I will get 40, and I can straightly multiply 8 into 11 and I will get 88. Or there is a other method. This is giving me a right answer. Mathematics is functioning and giving me the right answer, but it is increasing my cognitive load because I have to simplify it afterwards. Okay, so let's break it down in the optimized way. 5 divided by 8 into 8 by 11. Now you need to understand this thing. Numerator and denominator can cancel only if they have common factor. Denominator won't cancel denominator. Numerator won't cancel numerator. There we can't cancel. Okay. Denominator, there we can't cancel. We can cancel if there is something common in between numerator and denominator. See here, numerator and denominator doesn't have anything common, but when I am multiplying, this numerator is showing me that something common is there in both, so I can cancel. Okay, so when I will multiply, here I will get 1, here I will get 1. My answer will be 5 upon 11. Simplify the blueprint before you build. Find shared factors in the diagonals to eliminate heavy lifting. These simple precise steps will help you from the massive headache afterwards. Okay, so you need to see how can I solve the questions in a simplified way, and so that I get the right answer and I can pull them off safely. Okay, safety is must. Okay, before teacher grade you, you should have your safety net with you, and that's only when you will understand the concepts. Concepts are very simple. Because you get the problem, the reason is you don't understand the logic behind it, and once logic start clicking into place, these mathematical problems will become very simple to you. You will enjoy doing mathematics. You will start building confidence. You will not run away. You will not find any mathematics. You will not see the mathematics problem as a mental roadblock. Okay, the thing is, logics were not clear. Why we did it, how we did it. Okay, now I'm telling you, there is a rule. Rule is simple, but there's a very deep thinking behind it. You cannot cancel numerator with numerator. You cannot cancel denominator with denominator. We can only do the simplification if we have a numerator and denominator having common factors. Now let's come to addition part. We add them straight across. 1 plus 2 is 3, but earlier this we were doing in whole numbers. Now in fractions we can't do that. Okay, you need to understand, you can't add, you need to establish the same denominator, then only the numerators can be added. Okay, why? Because see, in addition we can't add fractions like earlier we were doing the whole numbers, top added to top 3, bottom added to bottom 8. Okay, this is completely wrong. Why? Now because these fractions are, let's take a metaphor and let's map this onto a human behavior. That this person is speaking Arabic and this person is speaking Spanish. Will they able to communicate? No, they won't understand each other language until or unless they come to find out the common language to exchange their ideas. So both are talking about which language do you understand. So they came out that we both understand English, so they will communicate in English. So we need to establish the common base framework. We need to have a LCM when we add fractions. This is the logical reason, because these numbers are communicating different language. How? Now understand. There was a pizza, it was divided into 3 pieces. Okay, and you suppose you're getting one out of these 3 pieces, and this same size pizza was divided into 5 pieces and you are getting 2 pieces out of it. So can you add them? Can you add those 2 pizzas? Can you add their sizes, or can you make out how much they are? No, because they have different baseline. We can only add or compare if we have same denominator in fractions. So that's why we will find the LCM first, and then after finding the LCM we will convert them into equivalent fractions and then we will add. Now how to find LCM? For that, now to find LCM, what we are going to do, we are going to follow these 4 steps. What are these 4 steps? You will arrange the numbers in a grid. Okay, any order doesn't matter. Denominators you will write here. You will find a common factor which is dividing at least 2 of the given numbers, and repeat until no common factors remain, and then we will string along all these numbers here, whatever common divisors you will get, and the numbers which we will get at the end which are not having any more common factor. LCM starts with L and we multiply the numbers like this only, L. See the magic of mathematics. Now see, if I have 20, 30 and 50 as my denominator, I can see these are even numbers, so they will be dividing by 2. So 2 with which number I should multiply so that I can get 20? 2 times 10 is 20, 2 times 15 is 30, 2 times 25 is 50, sorry. Now you will proceed. Now these 3 numbers doesn't have 2 as a common factor. 2 can only divide 5, but 15 and 25 it can't divide. We should have at least 2 numbers. So that's why we went to 3. 3 again only can divide 15. So first I started with 2, then I see towards 3, and then I have finalized 5 because all 3 numbers can be divided by 5. Now see, 5 and I have written 5 into 2 is 10, 5 into 3 is 15, 5 into 5 is 25. Now these three numbers which I have got have no other common factor. So I will string 2 into 5 into 2 into 3 into 5 to find the LCM, and that will be 300. The two things which you have to keep in mind when you are choosing a number here, it should at least be a common divisor of two numbers which are inside the grid. And the second thing, the number which is getting not divided by it will drop down to the bottom row and will remain untouched. 9 here, if I've written 2, 6, 9, 12, 2 can divide 6 and 12 but cannot divide 9. So 9 will come as it is at the bottom, and 3 and 6 will be the factors with which I have multiplied to get 6. Okay, so this way you will find the LCM. See, I have multiplied these numbers with these numbers. Okay, here I have written divisors, here I have written questions, and these are the irreducible remainders. The LCM will be the L boundary numbers which you are multiplying. See here, I have multiplied like this. So here comes the LCM thing, and then what we have to do after finding the LCM, I found the LCM as 15. Now what I am going to do, I will convert the denominator of first into 15. So can you tell me how I can go from 3 to 15 only by multiplying by 5? And in fractions, if we are multiplying the denominator by 5, we need to multiply the numerator also by 5. So 1 by 5 will become 5 by 15. Now the other number was 2 by 5, and I have to make the denominator 15. Now how I can go from 5 to 15? By multiplying with 3. So I will multiply the numerator also with 3. I will get 6. Now you see they have got a same base, so that's why we can add them. So these were the mistakes students were making while adding the fraction. And these are, I had been teaching from last 15 years, and whenever I see addition of fractions, they know all the steps which they have to be done, whether it's applied in geometry, whether it's applied in algebra, they know all the steps. But when it comes to adding fractions, there they have lost the marks. Okay, and these silly mistakes, because the rule was not clear, there's a deep thinking behind it, that we have to come to the same base framework. Okay, so now LCM I have explained, addition I have explained. Second mistake which students make, I explained you multiplication earlier. The students which have learned LCM for addition of fractions start making the same start finding the same LCM for multiplication also. Okay, I told you earlier only that multiplication has to be applied straight across. Top number will multiply with top, bottom number will multiply with bottom, and top number you will get from the multiplication of top two numbers, and below denominator you will get from multiplication of below two numbers. So don't make mistake of unnecessarily forcing LCM into multiplication. Okay, you will end up having less time in exams, and you will make silly mistakes. The third trap which students make, they don't simplify the fractions, especially when they are asking in the question to find the answer in the simplest form. Now if I take 6 and 12, now I am going to give you one trick. Okay, you won't show that here, you will do that in rough work. Earlier we were applying the common factor method for the denominators for finding LCM. Now I am going to find the common factor of 6 and 10 by using the same method. Now here some important things which you have to keep in mind. I have to first write numerator and then I have to write denominator. Now can you tell me 6 and 10, 12, which number will divide both the numbers? I can write 2. Okay, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 12. Now after this, can it be simplified? Sorry, 2 6 are 12. So after this, can it be simplified with 2? No, I can simplify this using 3. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. Now see how you have to write the simplest form. You know, people leave the simplification halfway through and they don't understand that it is still not the simplified form because it doesn't have its highest common factor. So to find the highest common factor, I am telling you this method. Now earlier we were using these numbers also when multiplying. Now you don't have to use these numbers. Okay, after finding, just ignore these numbers, they are not existing for you anymore. Okay, now what we will do, below 6, what is the first number you have got? 3, so you will write this as 3. Below 12, what is the first number which you have got along with 3? That is 6. So this is the first simplified form. It is not yet the simplest form. Below 3 which you have got is 1 and along with 2, below 6 you have got 2. So 1 by 2 is the simplest form and this is what I got. That now I am coming to, so what we were looking for, highest common factor. Now the other mistake which the students make is they don't know how to convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. Okay, converting this into improper fraction, our denominator always remains same of mixed fraction and of the improper fraction which we are finding. Okay, we multiply the divisor with the quotient and this is our remainder. Okay, how do you do? This is 11 by 4 suppose. So 4 times 2 is 8. This is the remainder. So the number which I am writing here is the remainder and this is my quotient and this is my divisor. So divisor when multiplied with quotient will give me my new numerator. Okay, after adding with the remainder. So that's the method. Improper fraction numerator you will find after multiplying whole number with the denominator and then you will be adding numerator to it. But denominator remains same. 4 will remain 4. Okay, it won't change. Now I'm coming to the division mistakes which the students are making. You know, this method of dividing the fractions, I had been teaching them. Here you have to flip the numbers. But when the students do it in paper, they again get trapped. They flip the first fraction. Now you have to keep this in mind. Here I am showing you keep, flip, multiply. This is not a rote memorization. I will explain you also why we are doing this. You will keep the first fraction. If I am dividing these two, you will keep the first fraction as it is. Here comes the keep. Okay, and then flip. You have to flip. These two words are about fractions only first. So flip is for second fraction. Flip means you will write the numerator as denominator and denominator as numerator. So flipping, 5 will become numerator, 2 will become denominator. And then M means multiply. That comes for the operation. Okay. Now this will give me the answer. Okay. So this is the right way of dividing the fractions. For Only LCM thing you will do in addition of fractions, multiplication straight across, flipping you have to do, but that too of second fraction in division only, not in the, not, you are not going to flip the first fraction. You have to keep this in mind that flipping is off. First we have, first word is keep, so keep first fraction as it is. Second fraction we are going to flip and then we are going to multiply. Now these are the bonus mistakes which I am telling you. When you have to find the greater of the two, then also you have to first find the LCM, then only you can compare. You need to have the common base to compare. When you will find that this has common base and when you will change this, suppose they 8 and 5 is giving me 8 into 5 as LCM as 40. So 3 by 8, if I have to change this to 40, this I will multiply by 5, this I will multiply by 5. So the fraction will become 15 by 40 and this 2 by 5 will become 5 8s are 40. So I will multiply this 8, 16 by 40. Now you can compare these by looking at the numerator. So 16 is greater. You can't compare like by looking at them like this only. Ascending descending order, you will first find the common LCM of all the numbers. You will rearrange the numerator. You will do the adjustment in numerators and then you will find out which one is greater. If your question is asking you to explicitly asking that convert this, give me the answer in mixed number, and you are leaving the answer in improper fraction, then again you will lose marks. Some people cancel the number, like if they have to simplify they will say 6 is here, 6 is here, we can cancel. This is again wrong. You can't cancel individual digits. This is one number, this is one number. You can't cancel individual digits. So what we have learned, in addition and subtraction you will find the equal denominator required and then add numerators. Multiply, you will top times top, bottoms times bottom. For division you will apply KFM, but you have to keep this in mind that flipping is of second number only. And for mixed numbers you will multiply whole number with the denominator and then you will be adding the numerator and denominator will remain same. And for simplifying you need to find the highest common factor. I have given you one shortcut method for finding them out correctly and not losing marks halfway through in those questions. Now these are the operations which we covered today in fractions: addition and subtraction, multiplication, division. Here you have to have LCM. LCM is not required, and when dividing then so there is no need, there is only flipping is required. So now I am explaining to you about the division, why we are flipping it. Now try to understand. You have to, this is not a rote memorization method, there is a logical reasoning behind it and I am going to explain to you the reason. You earlier had this 2 by 3, you had 3 pieces, out of that you were having 2 in your hand. Now you want to divide the same into 1 by 6. Now try to understand. Dividing by a fragment is mechanically identical to multiply by the number of fragments it's make to whole. Now when you divide by a small fraction, you are continuing how many small pieces fit inside your amount. So instead of multiplying, you multiply by how many pieces make one whole. Now I will explain you. Now you had one complete thing. Okay, you divided that into 6 parts. So these 6 parts were making one thing. Okay, so when you are dividing this again by 2 by 3, you will not take 1 by 6. It takes 6 pieces to make one whole. So that's why when we are taking 2 by 3, we are multiplying it with 6. Okay, dividing by a fragment is mechanical identical to multiplying by number of fragments it takes to make a whole. How many pieces of it will make one whole? 6 pieces will make one whole. Out of that he has taken 1. So how many pieces it will take for 2 by 3 to divide it into? So that's why you are getting 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6. You are getting answer as 1 by 4. The thing is same. Whenever we divide two fractions, when you divide by a small fraction, you are counting how many pieces fit inside your amount. How many pieces will fit up? Now you will see that how many 1/6 can come in the same size of 2 by 3. Okay, so 1 by 6 is this much, so 4 can come into it. So this was in a picture form you are understanding. Now in a mechanic form you need to understand these 6 pieces are making one whole. Okay, so when you have to divide that whole into 2 by 3, you need to find 6 pieces to make one whole. You will multiply that with 6. Okay, I hope I could provide something useful. I have empowered you, equipped you with the structural thinking about fractions. If you will structure your thinking about these specific rules, you will not face any problem. You will not get trapped into anything. You will bypass all the traps, and these mistakes will prepare a new mental toolkit for you to deal with fractions. And from now onwards, you know what fractions are trying to communicate with you. So keep practicing, be curious, and follow for more, and join my classes. I am taking premium one-to-one classes for my students, and you can register them, and you can see my classes on YouTube as well. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. You can follow me anywhere.